already. I feel like this month is just flying by. And so we're halfway through, which means we are, halfway to hopefully reaching our goals. How many of you have hit Success Club so far this month? Any hands raised yet? Anybody? Success Club 5, Success Club 10. Anybody there yet? All right. And I'm sure you guys have got some big goals for your business. I know that, the fourth quarter is really in full swing. And this is always the time that I tell my team, guys, this is where you build your momentum, is in this fourth quarter. And I know that as you start getting into the busy holiday season, life is going to get wild and crazy. And I just want to encourage you to stay committed to your fitness journey, stay committed to your nutrition. Of course, enjoy the holidays, but just balancing that out and really, really allowing yourself to just be consistent in your vitals is going to pay off at come January. So guys, I'm really excited about today's topic. I actually had a conversation with another leader in the company, and she was like, Melanie, you should do a call on what would you do if you were going to restart your business now, like in 2018, what would you do differently? And I thought that was just such a great question. And it really made me think about what did I do before and what would I, how would I do things and it would be very, very drastic. So I just want to take a quick poll. How many of you have been coaches for more than 5 years? Anybody on here that is like more than 5 years in the business? I'll let you guys answer this. Nope, 3. Okay, you guys tell me how long you've been coaches, and then we'll go from there. 4, okay, 5, 4, 3, 6. There's a couple of 6. Okay, 3, 5, 7 months, 3 months, 4 months, 1 day. Woohoo! Welcome. All right, 2 months, a little over 5. Okay, so hi, Katie Bryant. I noticed your name there. Quickly going by. Okay. All right, 6 months. Okay, so lots and lots of coaches that have been in the business for different amounts of time. And so I will tell you that there are just the most incredible amount of things that I would do differently. And I'm really excited to be able to share that with you guys tonight. So hopefully, can you guys all see, can you see the screen okay? Just tell me if it's coming up right and if you can see it, and we will dive right in. Okay, perfect. Hey there, Angie. All right, so if I was a coach, what would I do differently? Just about everything. So as we get started, I want to kind of paint a picture for you of what building my business would have looked like. Oh, somebody wrote on me. Hang on. I hate when that happens. All right, stop share. Share again. All right. So if I were, when I started my business in 2011, so that's when I started coaching. It's been 7 years. I launched my business on Facebook, and I made the most salesy post that you could ever make. I had just started my own personal journey. So I had actually finished a 60-day program. I did Insanity from start to finish. I did my side-by-side, and then I decided to type up a Facebook post and tell everybody that I could not believe that I actually was able to complete Insanity. It was the first home fitness program I'd ever done. I actually thought those programs didn't work and that those, people were photoshopped, their results weren't actually real. And I had such a sense of pride when I completed that program that I posted my pictures, my side-by-sides up on my Facebook page. And I basically gave everybody all the information that they would need, right? I told them I followed the nutrition plan. I told them what workout I did. I told them how many pounds and inches that I lost. And then I didn't have any kind of call to action at the end. But what ended up happening is people started commenting, right? People started commenting and asking me questions. And that kind of started the process of my coach really pursuing me and saying, hey, Melanie, I think you should do this. Like, all of these people that are responding, they could be your customers. And at that time, I was just directing them to her, right? But when I said, okay, it took me a month later, I actually signed up. When I signed up to become a coach, I immediately started spamming my Facebook. I went from being this girl that didn't have a public feed, that had never posted anything other than maybe wedding photos or when I had my kids or a picture of my dog or an anniversary. Like there was nothing health and fitness related on my page whatsoever. And it literally looked like I threw up Beachbody all over my newsfeed. So I changed my banner. It was like me in my like team, Beachbody coach shirt, my image, my face. It became sort of like some sort of, I think I had a Beachbody logo or Shakeology up there at one point or another. I was posting links for people to go and buy Shakeology right on my timeline. Every post I had me in my bag of Shakeology. I had selfies of myself that I only showed like from my neck up. It was these horrible, dark, grainy selfies in my basement, right? With, if you guys can remember all the apps we used to use, like Word Swag that just had like, rainbow colored words and collages. And I mean, it was as, unbeautiful as you could possibly imagine it being at that time. But it worked, right? It worked for me. And it worked for a lot of us, at that time, because social media wasn't like building a business online, network marketing, all the Instagram and branding, like that just wasn't a thing, right? That just wasn't a thing back then, right? And so what I learned through that process, obviously I've learned a lot, on down the road, but I started a blog. That's what every other coach was doing. So I spent hours upon hours researching how to create a blog on Blogger. And I, started journaling my progress. I started sharing recipes. I would share those blog posts every single day. I posted 4 to 5 times a day, right? It was like constant. I was just constantly posting. I was definitely annoying people. I was doing massive cold invites. I would just go down. I would start at A on my friends list, and I would just go down without even looking and not paying attention, and I would just start messaging every single person. And those of you that have been around for a while, like go look at your on this day. It's a really good reality check of how far you've actually come in your business, right? I did a lot of hey girls, right? So a lot of, I would just go down through and I would be like, hey girl, and I would just not even look at their page, send them a message. So I did cold invites, mass invites, a lot of salesy posts. I just would friend request everybody. So I would go down through and I would friend request every single person that popped up without really looking to see if they were somebody I would actually want to connect with. And like I said before, I had really poor quality photos and a lot of on my photos. All right. So that just kind of gives you, I mean, if I can figure this out being that way when I started, so can all of you. So there is hope for each and every one of you. And I'm hoping that if you are doing any of the things that I talked about now, that maybe this is a good gut check to say, okay, I need to take a step back and I need to reevaluate what I'm doing, because as we've evolved, as social media has evolved, as building businesses online have evolved, so have we. And we have to make sure that if we don't want to get left in the dust as society changes, that we have to get on with the new trends, right? And so it has forced me as a leader to very much so lean in and always be thinking 2 to 3 steps ahead. Like, what are people doing on social? How are people marketing themselves? How are people branding? And a lot of times I look outside of the Beachbody community for training and resources to help me figure that out. And I will tell you that I don't believe I'm an expert. I am still a work in progress. And this is just one person's experience and what works for me. And so this is, this is just my experience. All right. Annalisa, does anyone have the actual link call? I was able to click Zoom image. Okay, wait, hold on one second. You can just go to invite, copy URL. Okay, tell me if this works for you. That should work, okay? I see a few people there. Okay. All right, cool. So let's get started, right? So let's talk a little bit about what it looks like now. So if I kind of walk you through, and I will share all these slides with you guys afterwards also. And if you guys tag me on IG stories so that I have something to post later. Or actually, let's wait until the end and we'll take a big group photo so you're not allowed to leave. Okay, so what do I do now? Now I do 1 to 2 Instagram newsfeed posts per day. I share the same thing on my Facebook that I do typically on my Instagram newsfeed. I look at my personal Facebook is my life, right? That's more of my personal life. I do more of my kids and my family and upload albums. And if we go on a family vacation, I'll load the whole family album on Facebook. On Instagram, I'll pick the best photo. I'll pick the best quality family photo, portrait mode, with good lighting, and I'll tell a really good story. You won't see 20 different Instagram posts of our family vacation all in the same week. It's really important that you do learn a little bit of photography skills in this stage of the game. And I'm sure most leaders will agree with that at this point. And when I say clear images and upping your professional game, it does not mean that you have to hire a photographer to follow you around. I use my iPhone for everything. Everything that I do, I use my iPhone. So I do not own a professional camera, but I have an iPhone. And one of the business investments that I made is I upgrade my phone. And as the phones got better, I made sure that I had the best quality phone that I could that took good photos, because it's a write-off and it's part of my business. It's a business investment. Another thing that I invested in was a good tripod, right? So I have this tripod. It's PayU, P-E-Y-O-U. I got it on Amazon. It's not very expensive, but it expands and it becomes really, really big, and then I can shrink it down and it can become really, really small. And I love it that it fits my iPhone and has this little twisty thing on the side, and it allows it to expand, and I can do portrait or I can do vertical. So I believe that these are the tools you need. And a self-timer, like one of those little remote self-timers, it actually came with this tripod. And the last thing that I'm going to tell you is an investment is lighting. I invested in one of those ring lights. I just have a ring light. I also have like a Lumi light that goes onto my phone, because in Western Pennsylvania, it's always dark and dreary and rainy, and I would never get good quality photos. And even in my basement where I work out, I invested in a light. So if you are in this and you are working the business and you are committed to building it, I'm going to tell you those are the things that you need to invest in. When I started coaching, I just tried to wing it and do everything sort of, without investing any money. And I just feel like at this point, you've got to have the right tools. All right. So just one of those things. The next thing is how many of you always take a picture after your workout and always post right after your workout? It's just kind of one of those things that you're always done. You're like, I got to document my workout. I got to document life as it's happening. Well, I've stopped doing as much of that. I don't do that photo right after my workout anymore. It's much more of a styled look. There are a lot of times that I don't post my workout on my feed, but you'll actually see it just in my stories instead. All right. So it's much more styled. Very rarely I won't ever hold a bag of Shakeology. You won't ever see my containers. You're not going to see the Energize, where you're going to be able to read it. You might see me holding a cup and it might be that yellow color of Energize, or I may have my Shakeology in there, but you're not going to know that that's what it is. It's just much more sort of curiosity. If I'm talking about my fitness results, I'm not going to say lift 4, right? I'm going to say I'm doing a new lift and HIIT program. I love the flexible nutrition. It's just what my body needed after training for a marathon. I needed to up my strength training game, right? And so it's just much more of this sort of building this curiosity and building a brand. And as a coach now, it's more of you're a business and you are a platform on social media. So what do you stand for? So building a brand is something, as you sort of launch your business, you're going to get used to this, and it'll get a little bit easier. You can't smell like a Beachbody coach. And I'm sure you can imagine, right? So how many of you search hashtags, or you're on Instagram, right? And all of a sudden you just see, you go to somebody's newsfeed and it looks like a Beachbody coach. Every single photo is them working out. They've always got Beachbody gear on. They're always holding their Shakeology. You just know they're a Beachbody coach. And the way that I know if people are coaches is I go and I look at their bio. if they, like, so many people have their Beachbody link in there, or they'll say Beachbody coaching, you know, and so I always look to see, like, do I smell like a Beachbody coach? And so you guys just want to go and take a look at it. All right. The next thing is you must connect with your audience. That is a big thing. You know, you can't just post a post and walk away. There is this engagement factor that is super important. And gone are the days of just documenting your workout and saying, I did my workout today. Yes, it's more about telling a story. How did that workout impact you mentally, physically, emotionally today, right? How is, you know, the organization or being a part of the community making you feel like you're a part of something bigger, right? You know, it's all about telling the story of who you were before and how you're evolving and changing throughout your business. So I have learned to become a very good storyteller, and that's not a skill that don't have a background in storytelling, right? My undergrad is psychology. I have a master's in special education. None of the skills that I have learned over the past 7 years did I bring with me into this business. None of this. Marketing, social media, branding, these are all self-taught skills. Self-taught, all right? Okay, and it takes practice, and it is trial and error, but you will get there, and it is a series of, you know, figuring out who you are and what your voice is, and you will know when it feels right to you, all right? Okay, let's move on. So, up next, the next thing that I will tell you as a new coach, if I were to start again, I would definitely launch my business on Instagram. I probably would go solely Instagram. I'd use my Facebook, you know, for my personal, and I would use my Facebook to run my groups, but I would pretty much do Instagram because that's where I just am getting so much more traction and interaction at. So now, I always say from the get-go, you are setting up your Instagram profile and you want to set it to public. And this was something that actually rings true from before, is that on Facebook, for example, if my neighbor down the street, I run into her at Giant Eagle at the grocery store, and she's like, Mel, you look amazing. What are you doing? And I start telling her about my fitness journey and what I'm doing. And we connect on Instagram or on Facebook. And then she's at the bus stop and she's talking to her other friend, and her other girlfriend is like, you know, I really need to lose weight. I need to do something different. And she says, oh, you need to go find Melanie, right? Melanie she looks amazing. She's lost 30 pounds. And so they try to go find me. And if my profile is set to private, they can find me, but they can't see any of my stuff. And so you want to set it to public, because that way people can just scroll your feed and decide if they want to connect with you, if they're your type, and they may watch your stories, right? They're going to kind of browse through your content to see if there is that natural connection there. So that's the first thing that you have to do. And you have to get over that feeling of, I don't want everybody to see my stuff, because you do want everybody to see your stuff. You do. This is your magazine cover. You want people to come there, and you want people to want to take a step inside of your life and be a part of what you have to offer. All right. So that is super important. So if it's not public, go make it public. And then I make sure, and I saw somebody's comment, like, why can't we be proud of being a Beachbody coach? Absolutely. I am so super proud of what I do. I am super proud of the fact that I represent this company, but I want people to I don't want their guard to go up as soon as they come to my page and think she's just going to try to sell me something. I want people to come there. I want people to read about me. I want people to genuinely connect with me. And yes, eventually they're going to know that that's what I do, but we are so sensitive to being sold a product right now that people's guard just goes up, and you sort of lose that ability to connect with somebody. All right. I'm sure other leaders probably agree with that as well. So nothing wrong. I am a proud Beachbody coach, but that's just, I'm going to tell you from my experience, that's a good way to get past that initial, rejection. Okay. I pulled an example for you. So here is a coach, actually a part of my organization, Raina. I thought she did a great job. She just talks about who she is as a person in her bio, right? She's got multiple kids. She's a wife. She's a Jesus lover. She loves food, gluten-free foodie, fit-ish, love it. Personal growth junkie. She used a hashtag in there too, Anchored Empire, which is her team name, which I think that's great. You know, if you have a team name or a hashtag that sort of is you, you can use that in there, and that can be one of your hashtags that you use. And then learn more about me. She does have her Linktree link below. All right. So that is, that's just like an example of what I feel like is a good bio. And another thing is your picture. You know, my first photos were pictures of me and some of my girlfriends, right? Some other Beachbody coaches. There was a group photo. And so when you're thinking about your professional brand, people are they're going to look at your profile photo, and then they're going to try to figure out which one is Melanie. And then they're going to have to try to figure it out. So when people go to your profile, it should be you. So you absolutely want to use a photo. And if you don't have a professional one, just go into the natural light. When you have yourself dressed up, just take a picture, and that can be your profile photo. Okay. All right. So hang on one second. I see some questions. If people ask what program, okay, well, yes, absolutely. But I do that through private message. Okay. All right. Christine, so Linktree, you can use Linktree, right? So when people fill that out, there's not a problem. It's how you can set up your opt-in. So that's not an issue. And so what I do is right from the get-go, guys, set up a way to direct people that want more information, right? That are coming in. And so for me, I make sure that every single new person coming in has a support and accountability group application, and then join my community or join my team or learn more about what I do, right? And so you have 2 applications at minimum that you're going to use through that Linktree. And then if you want to direct them somewhere else, like if you have a website, if you have a YouTube channel, if you have a blog, like that's where you can put more than one link in there that people can actually use. And there are other options too, like you can use Wufoo forms, but remember, you can only use one Wufoo form at a time, right? Oh, never mind. Linktree gets you there, but the Wufoo forms are the forms you actually create. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm going to ignore the comments for a little bit, and maybe we can circle back to any questions at the end that I miss. Now, here's the thing. When you start coaching, the number one thing that you want to do, and sometimes I wish I could go back and do it all over again because it would be so fun. Like, I don't want to have any more children, but man, having a baby and being pregnant and then going through that transformation afterwards, it's like, holy cow, like that would be awesome to do it all over again and be able to kind of go through that transformation, like knowing what I know now. So here's what I want to encourage you to do. As wherever you are at, even if you've been in the business for a while, if you are stuck, if you are not getting traction, if you can't get Success Club points, if you aren't getting people to commit and sign up, I want you to take a look at your grid and say, when's the last time I talked about my transformation story? Do I need to go back through and recommit to my fitness journey again? So wherever you are at, yep, that's you, Brittany. I use you as an example all the time. I love it. And here's why I love this photo. Number one, Brittany was strategic about this, right? She took her before photos, and then every time she took a progress update picture, she took it in the exact same outfit. All right. So this is it. You're going to start your fitness journey, and you're going to take it against that white wall. You're going to take your photos, and it's like, this is your job, is to start and finish a fitness program and do it like exactly to the T, get results, and tell the story as you're going through it, and journal this. And so what I teach even new people is like day 1, day 7, day 1, day 7, day 14. Day 1, day 7, day 14, day 21. And to be able to put those side by side and every week is show up and share that transformation. How are you changing physically? How are you changing mentally? How are you changing nutritionally? There's all these different ways you can share your transformation and what you're learning, and you can tell that story. And those clothes that you're wearing in day 1, and then after your transformation is over, it's incredible how many times you can go back and use the same sports bra, the same shorts to show how your body has changed. So somebody said this at leadership, you know, think about it this way. So often we're afraid to start and hop in and share our journey because we aren't at our goal weight yet, or we're afraid that people are going to judge us for our before photo. Let me just tell you, it is the most humbling thing ever to post a before photo. But it is, I am hell-bent not gonna show up at the same after photo when I put myself out there like that, and that's embarrassing on social media, right? I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna get results, because I know that if I can walk the walk and talk the talk, that I will be able to inspire other people along the way. And every single step of the way, I'm inspiring. I'm not trying to sell, but I'm trying to show people by using myself as the example how they can do it too. All right. And also this storytelling is another part of it, making sure that you're getting better at the story and how you share it and getting vulnerable. Okay, so I do want to give an example of, I'm going to wait to do that. So let's move on to the next part, guys, and it's Instagram stories. I don't know why I have Instagram stories at da bomb, but whatever. Instagram stories are the bomb is what that's supposed to say. So sorry for the typo, but they are. This is what I feel that people actually watch more of. Like, people actually watch more of my stories, I think, than they do actually view my actual Instagram feed. So I set a goal and a rule for myself, 7 to 10 stories per day. I also hide hashtags in my Instagram stories. So you can have like 10 hashtags that you type out and you can hide them. So basically, I have them saved in the notes of my phone. It always has hashtag Melanie Mitro. It has hashtag Pittsburgh because that's where I'm from. That's where I'll put in like Lift 4 or Transform 20 or Shift Shop, because nobody's going to see they're like hidden hashtags, right? And so what you do is you type them and then you shrink them teeny tiny, and I like throw them in the white speck or drag them out of the corner. And this is a way that I can tag my content every single time I post a story. All right. If I'm sharing a recipe and it's like a snack time, clean eating recipe, I will go in and kind of shrink those down and throw them up there in the corner. But I'll do 7 to 10 per day. And I try to make it a documentary of my life. So every single day, there's a consistency factor. People know I'm getting up in the morning, right? I'm going to do my gratitude journal. I'm going to do my meditation. I always kind of share something from what I'm reading. I drink my Energize. I go down to the basement. I do my workout. I usually show workout clips, but right now we're not allowed because of Transform 20 and it's really messing me up and my flow. But I always will do like 2 to 3 workout stories, you know, is what I will do, right? So I'll show people me working out. And I'll do these like little workout clips. And then I'll always do like a post-workout video or a post-workout photo. I show people the sweat. I show people that I did it, right? Sometimes I'll talk about that it was hard or I didn't feel like getting up that day, but I'm glad I pressed play. Sometimes I'll engage my audience, right, and ask them questions as well. I always try to incorporate nutrition, especially when I'm doing a new nutrition plan and when I'm following a program. I want to show people that it's real food. I want to show people that it's filling. I want to give people a sneak peek into a day of my life. I am going to show Shakeology stories, right, is what I'm going to do as well. And I also use my stories to do this like curiosity marketing for my next accountability group. This is really where I do my advertising at, is right in my stories. And I love the poll option because I can ask questions like, do you want more information in my next accountability group? Yes, and absolutely. Or do you want to know how you can lose 10 pounds in 30 days, right? Yes, tell me more. I don't ever give people the option to say no, but this is kind of this is where you see me showing up and sort of doing a little more of my direct call to action that I weave into my day. I also show my work in there. And this is something that, hey, I know all of us, we can nail the nutrition. We can nail the fitness, but do people know that they can build a business through your stories? Because you can talk about your nap time hustle. You can talk about your little baby assistants. You can talk about how you're sitting in the pickup line and you're sitting there for 20 minutes waiting for the kids to get out of school. And, you know, you're chatting up with your challengers, or you're screenshotting some of their, you know, conversations. Like, this is really where you can get in and show people the day-to-day stuff that you would never put on your actual news feed. All right. So this is where people just, they get to see you. It doesn't have to be super perfect. And I think that's what I love the most, is I can just talk and it doesn't have to be scripted or perfect. And people just really get to see who you are. All right. Okay. And when I don't talk about Shakeology, I call it my superfood shake. Superfood Saturday, Superfood Sunday, right? Daily dose of my vitamins, right? Favorite meal on the go, like superfood smoothie. That's how I talk about it. And I post the picture of it, but it's not in a Shakeology cup. All right. And then people are like, what do you put in that shake? And, you know, so after a while, people begin to ask. All righty. So with that being said, here I'm going to give you an example of a launch post. So for those of you that maybe are restarting a program or getting started on their fitness journey, this is one that I really, really like. Sorry for my 10,000 screens that are open right now. Hang on. Wheel of Death. It's coming. Okay, so Jessica Bryan. So I actually saw this on another coach's feed, and I was like, somebody has to do this, right? And so Jess just had a baby not too long ago. I don't know if any of you maybe have a pair of skinny jeans that you would really like to be able to fit in, right? And so here is one of her posts that she did. And I was like, this would be a great thing to share with your new coaches that are coming in, or for all of you that are maybe getting started on your fitness journey, right? And so she just talks about what it was like to wear these shoes. Sorry, let me turn it down a little bit. But she just did this on iMovie and then sped it up and then put it on her post, right? And I thought this was a great way to get people sort of interested in what she was doing. Isn't that super cute? And so this is kind of like her transformation, like photos in a video, but done that way. All right. So that's a good example for you that is different and really catches people's attention. All right. So I thought that was a real, and I would share that. That's something I would definitely pass along. I did one like that when I started Transform 20. I didn't do the put my skinny jeans on, but I actually did a video where I just kind of rotated and put that out there and talked about it being vulnerable. I thought that was a super cute idea. So thought I would share that with you guys too. Now, one thing I want to say is I saw somebody's comment about I have coworkers and I want to share with them what I'm doing. Hey, if this is just on social media, when you're actually having a conversation with somebody, of course you're going to tell them what you're doing, right? But the reason I'm asking you and telling you to be so ambiguous with your social media is you don't want somebody to see a bag of Shakeology and Google it and buy it and sign up for it and then message you 3 weeks later and say, oh my gosh, I saw that you're doing that Shakeology stuff and I went and I bought it and I love it too. And then you're like, what? Wait, you could have got it from me. I'm a coach. I could help you. So by not giving all of the details, then it allows people to ask you questions about what it is. That's the reason behind it. All right. So just in case anybody was wondering. All right. So moving on, let's talk a little bit about your hashtags and things that now, knowing what I know, what are some of the hashtags that I am going to use in my actual posts? So I have different ones. I don't always use the same, but I kind of have like 7 to 10 that are basically me. And if I'm doing a fitness post, then I usually do something that has to do with like boy, mom life, mom of boys. I usually do like whatever day it is, cardio day, or never miss a Monday. If you're like getting married, you could use sweating for the wedding. If you have like your own hashtag, like, you know, the redefining the new me, but I just sort of pick things that are about me or where I'm at in my life. And it takes some time to kind of find ones that work for you or that actually allow good people to come into your newsfeed. So don't everybody get so caught up in what hashtags to use, but just start playing around with it. So here's what I would do is I chose my hashtags, right, for my workout. So let's say I'm doing Transform 20 and let's say that it's like cardio core. So I would do like hashtag cardio core workout, hashtag diet and sweat, hashtag Monday morning, never miss a Monday, right? And I just kind of go down through and I give like these 7 to 10 kind of hashtags. If you are 5 weeks postpartum, if you are 21 weeks pregnant, right? And so if you kind of go down through and do that, that's great. Then what I do is I always make sure I tag my location, where I'm at, and I tag the brands of what I'm wearing. If you are wearing a B brand headband, tag it. Use it in the hashtag B brand headband, hashtag Lululemon leggings, hashtag Target style, right? You can use the @ symbol and you can actually tag the other accounts. This is good. Your goal, and this is something I always do, is to get recognized by other brands. So I'll tag and I will also use the location because Instagram is very much like, hey, you shout me out for your stuff, I'll shout you out for representing, my brand. And so you just never know when somebody else is going to say, man, you took a really cute picture wearing one of our Target tank tops. Can we shout you out or use you as a post on our Target Instagram account? Oh, heck yes, you can, right? But they won't be able to find you if you don't use those hashtags, if you aren't taking, Instagram worthy photos. So absolutely, you want to start kind of thinking about what you're wearing, what you're doing, then, and kind of tagging locations and things accordingly. All right. Okay. It actually happened to me with Calia, the Carrie Underwood brand. I did like my favorite things of Christmas and I had on their hat and their scarf and I took a photo by the Christmas tree and they put me on their Instagram. So, it's just like knowing what the hashtags are and using them. Okay. Now, moving on. The next thing I am going to tell you is newsfeed. So I already said this, 1 to 2 newsfeed posts per day and always know your outcome that you want. So for so many years, I was like, I just need to post. I just need to get 5 to 6 posts up every single day. And it was like, I don't ever know what to post, right? And so I was like struggling with coming up with things to always post about. And then my post wouldn't get any traction because it wasn't very thought out. So one of the things that I always think about is, what is the outcome that I want to get out of this post? Is it purely engagement? Like I just want people to vote on outfit A or B. I just want to get people talking and traction. Is it that I want people to fill out an application because it's a call to action? Do I want people to drop an emoji? Do I want people to give an opinion? What's my marketing strategy? There is always a strategy behind everything that I do. And if you don't know what your strategy is, you've got to figure that out before you go in and just start making all of these posts. So ask yourself, is it interaction, comments, likes, shares, tags, applications? Like, what is it that you want people to do with your posts? I always say to myself, what is my goal this week? Is it to sign up 3 challengers? Is it to sign up a coach? And I want to make sure that if my goals are to sign up 3 new challengers, that I have posts that are directed towards that with that specific call to action in there. Another thing that is, if you have the time, so I know that some people work full time. I know that some people are home with their kids all day. I didn't have the luxury when my kids were little to be able to, just sit around and work 24/7. I had to find these pockets. And so I find myself taking photos and sort of saving them in my camera roll. And when we're sitting around watching a TV show, I will edit them. So I'll apply the filter, I'll edit them to be, brighten the color, make it a little crisper. I'll take it into an app. There you can use Plan, or you can use Planoly is another one. I'm sure there's lots of different ones. But I will put them in there and I will actually write the post ahead of time. So I just have, in my planner, Monday through Sunday, I sort of have an idea of what I want to post about each day. And that allows me to sort of take the photos, edit them. I can't say that I always do this, but I try if I can, right? But if you are good at planning, if you can think ahead like that, batch planning is something you can do. Jenna Kutcher has a great podcast episode on Goal Digger podcast that tells you how to use the Plan app and how to batch plan, and I really like it. All right, but it doesn't need to be as real time like before. So there are definitely times where I will have my hair and my makeup done, and I will change my shirt 4 or 5 times, walk around the house with my lights and take a bunch of different pictures. And then I've got some content that I can kind of work with as well. Okay. All right. Moving on. Hopefully this is helpful, guys. All right. So a couple of other just tips is this. I try to make it a goal every week to collaborate with a local business. So I know we can build our business virtually. We can build our business anywhere. So for example, I've been making it a goal to actually go to local businesses, like a boutique that just opened in Cranberry. We went over, we took a picture in there, we tagged them, right? There's a juice bar that just opened that I want to go visit. I want to go get a juice. I want to set up a good photo. I want to take it. I want to tag them in it. I want to give it a review. Maybe I'm going to go and work there at a local coffee shop. I'm going to take a great picture. I'm going to tag it, right? Share it in my stories. And, even just that local collaboration. And then I will look at what local businesses use as hashtags. And that also helps me connect with other local people in my area. So I found a lot of other health and fitness related companies that I can partner with, and I can shout them out. They can shout me out. We can share products and share sort of post ideas. And it helps me get out there to more people. Right? So it's like sharing a Facebook post, right? Before we were like, oh God, if we get a share on Facebook, we're doing good. Now we want to get people to cross collaborate with us, and it can be anything. Those of you that have little kids and are, getting ready to have kids, and you're doing your nursery and you're hashtagging Pottery Barn, or you're hashtagging Target, or, whatever baby seat that you have, like those are all things you can collaborate and say like to them, hey, I'm going to shout you out and promote you. Would you share it on your page? Kind of a deal. All right. Yeah. And Brittany, you're the same thing. Again, sometimes I say to myself, gosh, it'd be so fun to be pregnant and go through it and do all that again. But then the same breath, I'm like, no, that was a lot of work. All right. So anyways, search local hashtags and locations and connect. Don't be afraid to ask for a collaboration. I'll share your product. Will you share it on my page? Kind of a thing. People are always willing to do that if they see you get good engagement on your stuff. All right. And I already talked about the invest in the selfie stick and the ring light and the tripod. And this is one thing I still do now is I set a goal for new followers every single week. So I will write down the number of Instagram followers I have. And then I will say to myself, okay, I'm going to, and just pick a number, right? It's Monday. So just pick a number. I'm going to shoot for 50 new followers this week. And I will sit down and I will spend 20 minutes or 30 minutes every day. I will go through the people that like my post. I will go through the people that comment. I will make sure I comment back because Instagram and Facebook are social. So you want to actually socialize with other people. So I'll comment. If it's somebody I don't know, I'll click on their account. I'll look to see who they are. If they have a private account, I will request to follow them. If it's public, I'll go through, I'll like a couple of their photos, I'll leave some genuine comments, I'll follow them, right? If there's somebody I would want to connect with. And so I make it a point every single day to comment and like and engage. I also will search my own hashtags too. So that's something else that I will do. I'll actually go back in there and search my own hashtags. And so I'll go to my post from this morning and I'll choose that hashtag and I'll say, okay, I'm going to connect with 5 people of the hashtag I used this morning. And that'll help me figure out real fast if I've got good or bad hashtags. Because if they're not bringing new people or genuine people that I have anything that a connection to, I'll switch it up the next day. I'll maybe take that hashtag out and try something new. And so that really works well for me at creating that that culture of engagement, that culture of abundance, like being very mindful that I can't just let my post do the work for me. I've got to work the post. I've got to work the hashtags. I've got to be in my business and engaging with other people if I want it to actually work. Okay? All right. A couple of other things, like make sure you look at who's viewing your stories. If you see people that are viewing your stories every single day, reach out to them. Say, hey, Shannon, I noticed you have been, viewing my stories every day for the last week. How did you find me? Are you on your fitness journey too, right? What were you searching that brought you to my page? People that constantly like my stuff that I don't know, I reach out to them, right? And just put myself out there and connect with those people too. So make sure that you are not just throwing posts up there and walking away and then not going back and using that as your momentum to build your business. Those were things that we didn't have before. We didn't have stories. And so that wasn't an option that was available. And I'm like, gosh, there's so much that we can use coming out of our Instagram stories. But guys, the biggest thing is it's not about the beautiful, pretty glitz and the glam. It's about inviting people in a genuine, authentic way, because nobody wants to be sold. Nobody wants to be sold. You can smell it a mile away when you get a cold invite. People want to connect. They want to feel a connection. They want there to be a relationship. And that does take a little bit of time. All right. So you want to get out there. You want to connect with people. You want to invite them. You want to follow up. If somebody says to you, I'd like to know more about what you do, and you tell them and you never hear back from them, follow up with them, right? Don't assume that they weren't interested. Maybe they just forgot, right? So create sort of that system of making sure that you go back. And I want to say this, create FOMO. Friends, like create that fear of missing out. Like everything that you are putting out there on social media should be so super exciting. Like I'm on this call right now and we're talking about how to grow and how would you launch. Like this would be a great post to try to recruit new coaches, like, and talking about the training and how cool is it that, our kids are sleeping upstairs in their beds and we're on this conference call together building our business in our pajamas. Like this is the best job ever. I don't ever have to leave my kids or whatever it may be. Like talk about it, get excited about it. When you get swag from Beachbody or you get a shout out or, you get your clients are getting results, like talk about the culture, the community, like create excitement. Because if you're not excited about your business, nobody's going to be excited to join you. And, you can also be excited, but then not share it. So you've got to share it and be excited at the same time with a call to action at the end. So for example, you can talk about how amazing this call is and you're hanging out in your Christmas PJs and you're building your business. And then right after it, you're going to do a call to action if you want to know more. All right. Okay. So I know we need to wrap up because I want to give a few minutes for some questions, but here is something that I didn't do when I launched my business. And here is something I will do differently now. Initial invites. So when I started coaching, I relied on people coming to me. And I thought that if I just posted 3 to 5 times a day, that people would just sign up. And initially when I launched my business, I had a lot of people that were interested. But then as I started messaging them one by one, it was like, oh, I go to the gym. Oh, I drink this shake. Oh, I don't have any money this month, right? And so people would it was excuse after excuse. And so I didn't hit Success Club my first month as a coach because I wasn't bold. And I didn't ask my family and my friends. I didn't say to myself, okay, Melanie, you're a business building coach. Sign up your husband in month 1 with a challenge pack, sell your Shakeology packets, do the 3-day refresh, you get 2 Success Club points, right? And you're going to get 3-day results from the 3-day refresh, right? I should have signed that up right off the bat. I should have went to my mom and said, Mom, I'm going to do this program, the 21-day fix, and you're going to do it with me, and you're going to invest in this, and we're going to hold each other accountable. Sound like a plan? Let's sign you up right now, right? And then I could sign her up as a coach. I, got my sister-in-law to do it, but I should have just been a little bolder with some of my girlfriends and saying, okay, guys, I'm starting this. We always talk about losing weight. Like, let's do this together. Do you guys want to invest in this with me? And so I've gotten a little bolder about that part of it and just going to your friends and just saying to them, all right, I signed up to be a health and fitness coach. I'm going to do this new program and this accountability group. It's a 21-day program. I'm going to lose this 10 freaking pounds. You guys are going to do it with me. Like, here's my coach's results. She lost 30 pounds. She's got 2 kids. If she can do it, so can I. And will you do it with me? And we can keep each other accountable and knock the cookie out of our mouths when we want to cheat, right? Haha. And so I say we start in 10 days. Can I give you the details? I just wish I would have done that. And this, my friends, is like an easy text message. You just put it in your own context, your own wording. What would you say to somebody? And sit down tonight and send the text messages. All right. Get it, like, just start talking to people. Get on the phone and have a conversation. Get yourself out and think of all the people that you've ever had a conversation about weight loss before. People in your family, people, think about all the people I would just start connecting automatically. I just was so afraid to invite, and I wish I would have been bolder because it probably would have turned out in my benefit a little bit sooner. All right, and the last thing, as a new coach, I had no system, none whatsoever. I used pen and paper and then a Google Doc for like months. And I probably lost a quadrillion people because I use Facebook Messenger as my follow-up system. Or now you probably use your DMs as your follow-up, right? But get a system right now. And set your goals no less than SC10. If you are a business building coach on this call right now, there is absolutely no reason why bare minimum you can't get 3 new clients signed up every single month if you are following that business activity tracker, right? I also say if you are building a business and you're expecting this to turn into income, it has to be SC10. That's 5 new people. And if you're expanding and becoming better at the basic principles we just went over time, your momentum is going to build. Sure, you're going to have to grind a little bit at the beginning. You're going to have to work extra hard to get those people. But I'm telling you, if you want to grow a significant business, this is what I would do, right? This is what I would set my bar. Emerald in the next week. I just told you how to get to Emerald, right? Best friend, spouse, significant other, family member, like those people. You should be diamond in 90 days. That I've always done and I've always stuck with is that literally I know that if I'm not advancing, my team isn't advancing. If I'm not showing them that it's possible, where's the momentum there? I need to keep showing them that it's possible. That's the seeds that are being planted. Those are the people seeing, okay, if she's advancing, I got to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this movement, this thing, these girls, they look like they're having a great time together, this community and this culture. All right. And then honestly, I would have used Google Street from the beginning. And I know so many people are like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to use Google Street. It's hard to learn. Brooke Lipoff has a great 7-minute video on how to use Google Streak. I put that up on one side and I set up my buckets on the other, and I can do follow-ups in like 0.5 seconds, right? I mean, it takes a little longer than that. But I'm telling you, Streak is like the best thing ever, and it keeps me organized. All right, it is Brooke Lipoff has one, and I have one too, but I think hers is actually better than mine. And then Track, right? So one last thing, I actually have a binder. I'm going to show you my binder. Hold on, let me move all my papers out of the way. So I have a binder, and in my binder, it's just a 3-ring binder. It's nothing fancy, right? And I have my marketing calendar, what I'm working on at the beginning of every month, right? And in here, I have my tracking sheets. So I do this, and I actually post this in my team page or in my push group that I'm doing right now. So they see me doing my daily business activities every single day. So I'm accountable to it. I have my posting kind of schedule. So every Sunday I sit down and I make my post. And then for those of you that work maybe full time, or, you just want to have notes. Like I just have blank sheets of notebook paper. So if you needed to write yourself notes, or, message so-and-so, or maybe you're not ready to set up Google Streak, like you could have notebook paper in the back. And this is what you can just kind of keep track of your people, right? So this could be your tracking system if you aren't ready to do a Google Streak yet. But don't let Google Streak hold you back, right? You can just get a 3-ring binder and hole punch your stuff, print out your business activity trackers that the company gives you, and just get to work. The biggest thing that I see people doing is that they just don't start. They become these collectors of information. They think they have to have all the training and all the answers figured out before they can jump in with both feet. And I will tell you, I just jumped in and I watched training videos as I needed it. And as I needed a question answered, I asked, because otherwise I would have spent my first month watching videos and I never would have practiced. And I feel like what taught me the most was that process of actually practicing and learning, evolving, and tweaking along the way. All right. So yes, my binder, those of you that asked the first page, it's just my marketing calendar, right? It's just my marketing calendar. It's just my daily tracker. So my business activity tracker, and then my what to post, kind of my posting schedule, and then some blank sheets of paper. And then for those of you that are working towards Diamond, I do this with my girls too, is I have my Diamond sheet in there. So, yep, they're pushing for Diamond, but so am I. Every single week, I am showing up, I'm taking pictures of when I'm recruiting, and I'm being accountable, because if I want them to do it, you better believe I'm going to be doing the exact same thing alongside of them. So, it's simple, it's easy, it's not pretty, just track it. Have a place like this goes in my luggage, this goes in my purse, this goes in my car, and it's super easy to take with me, and I've got everything I need in one place. Okay, so if I was going to build my business again, this is what I would do. And it is about discipline and consistency. And I can tell you, you are still going to have to be patient. You cannot snap your fingers and magically have 10,000 followers. All right. It is going to take time, and you still have to build trust, but you just got to do it in a little bit of a different way versus what we did before. So I hope that this was super valuable for all of you. And if there were any follow-up questions, I'll take a few moments and answer those for you. I think maybe I froze. Did I freeze? You good? Okay. All right. Let's see. And I will share the slides. I did record it, so I'll make sure we get that. Let's take a picture and then I'll answer your questions. All right. So hang on. And I know I might not be able to get everybody because there are 15 different pages. All right, are you ready? Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Okay, so Melanie, I have the fairly long post up a bit. Hang on. Fairly long post. Let me go back. There's a lot of fairly long posts. Jessica, is that you? Jessica Moss, maybe? All right, it says, what did you suggest for high school teachers trying to branch out in the business who are worried about students or their parents? So here's the thing. We actually have a lot of teachers in our team. And so, and the other thing too, coworkers that are incredibly verbal about your new journey and what you share. So here's the other thing. If it gets to that point, it is okay to kind of, I've hid people before, right? I've blocked people before. If somebody is coming into your space and is not giving positivity and encouragement, they don't need to be in my space. And I just simply block. That is a choice that I choose to make. All right. As far as students goes, I will use the words of one of my friends and another coach that was a teacher. And she was like, I will never be embarrassed of my journey. I will not post pictures in my underwear or in a bathing suit, maybe as a teacher, but in a sports bra and shorts. She goes, I'm not embarrassed of that. I'm living a healthy life and I'm showing people what it means to feed my kids healthy food and live a healthy lifestyle, and I'm not embarrassed of that. And if kids know that about, their teachers, they know that, Miss Ersto works out, and she takes good care of her body. They know she packs healthy food, and that's just a part of who she is, right? If you were a runner and every day you packed your gym bag and you went running and you post pictures of yourself running on Instagram, it would be the exact same thing. So I just think sometimes we get inside of our own heads, and you don't have to worry about it. All right. That's my suggestion. But I always, like, everything I post now, what I want my boss to see it, what I want my grandmother to see that post. Like, I think about those things before I put content out there. Who would I want to see those things? All right. I think that was the fairly long post. Okay. I had my first coach almost committed to signing up, and now she's backing away. I don't want to lose her. She'll be my first coach. Honestly, if that person's backing away, it's okay. You don't want to talk people into being a coach on your team. You do want to ask, hey, what's making you question your decision? Was there something I said? Was there something that, maybe a question or a concern or something you're worried about? Just ask, very simply ask what it is. And if they're afraid or they're fearful or they don't want to put themselves out there, you won't be able to change them. And by talking somebody into signing up, that you want people to make that decision on their own. So that's just my personal suggestion for you guys too. All right. Do I always post my actual location, or do you choose what city or country I'm in? It's wherever I took the photo at. So if I took the photo in Orlando, I tag it in Orlando. If I took the photo in Pittsburgh, I tag it in Pittsburgh. Wherever I'm at that current location is pretty much what I use as the tag. Let's see. When do you put them on a follow-up list? Okay, so guys, whenever you are, if you're using pen and paper, so I'll go through and I usually do my whole week, right? And for me, I'll go through, I'll invite, and then I'll say to myself, okay, it's all week long and I haven't had anybody sign up, or I haven't heard back from those people, and I'll just go through and I'll just go down through and I'll send all my follow-ups, right? So every couple of days, I look at my sheets, I look at my Google Streak, I look at who I haven't talked to, and I do my follow-ups. So it's usually like 24 to 48 hours after I've talked to the person, I go back and follow up. But I'm constantly, me in my Google Streak bucket, sending follow-ups, sending messages. Hey, did you get that information? So it's just like a common practice to just always kind of be looking. And when I have the time, I send a couple of follow-ups. And because I have Google Streak, and because everybody that's ever filled out a challenge group application or a coach application or has requested more information, I have their name and their email. Every time I get close to a challenge group, I send them a follow-up. Every time I launch a new challenge group idea, I send a message. Every time I run a sneak peek, I choose the whole bucket. I'm just constantly sending out messages to the people that are on my list. And so until they say, take me off my list, I'm not interested, then they are going to get emails from me. And so that's my strategy. And so it's funny because I use this Google Streak, and I've had people that message me back in June and just now they're signing up. It's taken them this long of following me and asking questions and watching and until they've decided that now is the time. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Jamie, as far as the first few steps of getting a coach set up, exactly what I went through with you guys tonight. Like, this is what I would tell them to do. This is your getting started right procedure. All right. That's exactly don't overcomplicate it. Don't put them in 10 million groups. Keep it simple, keep it easy, get them to start their transformation, get them to get it out there on social media, tell the story, and find 3 friends, right? Like, that's the basics of what they need to be doing. All right. It is 9:03 and I need to go say goodnight to my kiddos and tuck them in because they go to bed at 9 o'clock. So I know they're waiting for me to give them snuggles. So I hope that this was helpful. I am so sorry I didn't get to every single question that you guys had, but thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I hope you guys have a great week. I will get this processed and shared, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.